And do you have any indication about whether President Putin has made a decision on whether to invade? Do you feel confident that he hasn't made that decision already?
As of this moment, I'm convinced he's made the decision. We have reason to believe that.
You are convinced that President Putin is going to invade Ukraine. Is that what you just said a few moments ago?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Ukraine has now launched an offensive against the east of Ukraine, against Donetsk and Lugansk, and it looks like that they're trying to push forward to overtake that region, those two republics. And this seems to have happened after the order was given following the speeches from Blinken and from Biden. So it looks like the signal was, or the plan, because all of this looks very stage managed, was to have Blinken go to the UN to give his scripted speech about how Russia is going to use certain provocations, fake or real, to justify an invasion of Ukraine. And Blinken noted that Russia is keen on taking over the capital city of Kiev. And he said Russia's going to invade Ukraine. It's targeted Kiev, a city of 2.8 million people. And then Biden came on that evening to speak with the media and talk about Ukraine, because nothing's going on in Canada, just right up north on the border. Nothing's going on there. And this is all about Ukraine for the Biden administration. It serves as a very nice distraction, doesn't it? But Biden came out and he said pretty much the same exact thing that Blinken said during his speech. I mean, this is very carefully scripted and stage managed, what's going on right now. And Biden came out and said Russia's going to target Kiev, a city of 2.8 million people. And he just pretty much parroted exactly what Blinken said during his scripted speech. So all of these guys, I mean, they're reading from scripts, and all of this is being carefully stage managed. It's pretty clear that the order was given to press forward, to the Ukraine army to press forward. Now, we don't know if that order was given to Zelensky and then Zelensky, said, okay, let's do it, or if someone else in the military or in the government in Kiev is really running the show, and they said, Zelensky, we don't really care what you've been saying the past couple of weeks, how there's no threat and everything is calm. We're going to create a little bit of chaos, and we're going to press forward to try and take over Lugansk and Donetsk. There was supposed to be a meeting this morning by the trilateral group to ease tensions. The Donetsk, Lugansk, Ukraine, and Russia was supposed to meet and try to calm things down, but that meeting got canceled because Kiev supposedly wasn't on board. Zelensky is traveling to Munich, and he's going to be back within the day, but he's traveling to Munich for the Munich Security Council. Who's going to be at that Security Council event? From what I understand, Kamala Harris is going to be there, as well as many, many American officials. So Zelensky's either going to Munich to get further marching orders, or for the U.S. delegation to kind of give Zelensky a final ultimatum. This is what I think is going to happen. They're going to probably tell Zelensky, if he's not on board, to get on board, or else he's going to be swapped out. So it's really interesting that Zelensky is going to Munich as well. He's just going to go there for the day, and then he's going to return back to Kiev. His office says that everything is under control, and his military has everything under control. And so where does that leave us with Russia? Now, I've said in many, many videos that it's not going to take much for the Biden White House or the media to say that Russia has invaded Ukraine. I mean, they never invaded Crimea, and to this day, 99% of the people who follow, who report on this story say that Russia invaded Crimea. So, I mean, it's not going to take much for the Biden White House, the media, big tech to push and amplify a narrative that Russia invaded Ukraine. All it's going to take is for Russia to have the back of Donetsk and Lugansk, to get involved in what is going on and what is escalating and looking to be renewed conflict between Ukraine and the East. And Russia getting involved there would, I believe, give the U.S. media and the Biden White House all it needs to frame the narrative that Russia is invading Ukraine, or has invaded Ukraine, or has gotten involved in Ukraine, and hence Nord Stream 2 has to get canceled, which I believe. I've been saying this for a while. I don't think the Germans are strong enough to tell the U.S. no. They've even been hinting that they're going to cancel Nord Stream 2. So I think that's all it's going to take to cancel Nord Stream 2. That's all it's going to take to continue this Russia is evil narrative so that we're distracted from Canada. We're distracted from higher energy prices. We're distracted from inflation. We're distracted from just all the tyranny that's going on in North America and in Europe, for that matter, but mostly in North America. All of the domestic problems of Biden can be ignored as the White House just plays up this Russia is attacking Ukraine story. And so, it serves multiple purposes for the Biden White House, and it's not going to. They don't believe that Russia's going to invade Kiev and take over Kiev. I don't think anyone really believes that, but that's just the hysteria of it all. That's just to pump the story up. It makes everything a lot more sexy, and the media kind of jumps on that. Oh my God, Russia's going to take over the capital city of 2.8 million people. Once Russia gets involved in what's going on in the East, if it gets involved in what's going on in the East, then I think the Biden White House has more than enough to frame the narrative that Russia has invaded Ukraine or Russia has intervened in the territorial sovereignty of Ukraine, and thus cancel Nord Stream, get more sanctions in place. Energy prices are going to soar. Inflation is going to continue to soar. Blame Russia. And let's not talk about Canada, and distract away from Jake Sullivan and Hillary Clinton as well, right? So, it's going to serve a lot of multiple purposes. Now, what would it take for Russia to get involved at this moment in time? I think a conflict appears to be, I don't want to say inevitable, but that's where we're heading. And so we're just going to have to wait in the next hours or days to see if the Ukraine army can break through the contact line, if they could advance into East Ukraine, and if they do advance, how far of an advance can they make? Does it put the safety of Lugansk and Donetsk in jeopardy? If it does, then Russia's going to get involved, and they're going to beat the Ukraine army back. I mean, they'll do pretty much what they did in Georgia. They'll take a couple of days to jump into the conflict, beat the Ukraine army back. Who knows how far Russia will advance? They'll probably, in my opinion, just restore the contact line. Maybe they'll push a little further, and then they're going to say mission accomplished, and that'll be that. And then they're going to recognize Donetsk and Lugansk, and that's when all the sanctions and all hell's going to break loose from the Europeans, and that'll be that. So it'll take a couple of weeks, maybe more, for all of this to unfold. But if the East Ukraine army, if the East Ukraine militia, Donetsk and Lugansk, if they can hold the line, then Russia's going to prefer not to get involved. Obviously, Russia prefers to not take any action. So they're going to monitor everything, and they're going to see what's going on. Military is being mobilized in the east of Ukraine. Everyone's preparing for a conflict. You've had evacuations of the region, and it looks like we're gearing up for the conflict, and we're going to just see how they hold up in the east, how the army holds up in the east, and if the Ukraine army advances, if they're able to break through and advance, and how far can they advance, and that'll dictate what Russia does. Russia would prefer not to do anything, but if Russia has to, they will, and that'll be that. The Band-Aid will be ripped off from this entire story, and Russia will take action. They'll beat back the Ukraine army. They'll decimate the Ukraine army until they achieve their objective. And then, the politicians will jump in. And the Biden White House will jump in, and the media will jump in, and they'll say, Russia invaded, Russia did this, Russia did that, Russia. Let's not talk about anything else, and let's kick in a lot more sanctions, and let's cancel Nord Stream 2, and everything will move according to how we've all expected it to move. And Germany and the Europeans will be on board as well. So anyway, that's just a quick video update as to what's going on. Everything is being very carefully stage managed, though. You can see it. That this is being very well scripted. So none of this is spontaneous. None of this just happened. The UN speech, Biden speaking to the media, all of this is has been decided probably days, maybe weeks. Who knows? Maybe the Wednesday invasion that they were pumping up, the 16th of February invasion, was also a distraction. Who the hell knows? But what we're seeing right now has been in the last 10, 12 hours. You know, this has been very well managed. And the big question I have is Zelensky on board? My hunch is that Zelensky is not on board, but he's going to go to Munich and he's going to be given the he's going to be read his options. Either get on board or, you know, step aside. And that's the big question. My hunch is that he's going to say, okay, what can I do? And that's it. You know, Ukraine is the big loser in all of this, and it will remain the big loser. Biden will get what he wants. The Biden White House will get the distractions that they need and they want. Russia's going to get sanctions, but you know, they'll at least you'll get some sort of resolution to Ukraine, to what's going on in Ukraine. To a certain extent, that'll get resolved through these events, and that'll be that. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. Take care.